And we're live with a teeny tiny delay. Welcome to part 7 of 7 of our Enderwire build stream. Yeah, like a couple of things happened since we stopped last time. Am I? Yeah, I'm not live. Perfect. A couple of things happened since we stopped last time. So basically, just as a quick recap, last time we did the belt. Which was the main thing. Like, we did the belt, that's pretty much all we did. And today, or we did also a little bit of an excursion last time, and we started to assemble the front of the stealth burner. We didn't quite finish it. We don't have the top fan yet, but we put in the fan on the bottom and the LEDs. And we also assembled the hotend part basically of the stealth burner with our MicroSiwss hotend. Ironic. Yeah, so we kind of started the stealth burner assembly, but I kind of low-key forgot to print out the Voron adapter basically. So in the back section here, usually you would have the clockwork extruder, I think it's called. I think it's the clockwork. The clockwork 2. But in our case, because we have two external extruders connected via Voron tubes, we will have something different here. So I grabbed this parts here from the stealth burner repository. Let me actually zoom in a bit. So this one, it's a bit too much. So this one basically replaces the clockwork extruder. You just have on top, the Voron comes in like this. And then the front part basically goes on top. And now basically your filament just is guided through this part from top to bottom. And that would then basically go directly into our toolhead section. That doesn't work for us, for us, of course, because we have two extruders, right? So we don't have a single Voron, but we have two. So my initial thought was, as a quick fix, that we use a Y splitter like that. This one is meant for the bamboo AMS, so not quite Voron, but doesn't really matter. So this just goes on top, and now you basically have two inlets. I didn't put like a collet in here, but this basically now just allows us to feed that filament through and then pull it out from the extruder and feed it in from the other side, and then it will just go its way and come out. Yes, Ramonic, two extruders. We will have two. I want dual extrusion. So this one would work technically, right? But it's not nice, right? Like you have this thingy there on top. I've missed a lot of streams. I haven't heard you talk about that. Yeah, we will have two. So basically, just to quickly show you, so the Switchwire, we will have one extruder here and one extruder here, and then the Voron tubes will kind of like go like this and come in on the tool head in the middle. We also have two main boards because of that, because the normal Ender main board, of course, doesn't have enough stepper drivers to control two extruders. So we'll have two main boards because I have SKR Mini E3 V3 and I have a SKR Mini E3 V2. The V2 has some defective parts, but that doesn't matter for us. So we use two main boards to drive two extruders. You should get one of those mixing hotends, then you can make gradients and stuff instead of printing with only two colors. Yeah, I mean, for me, the main reason I want to have two colors is A, that I can have two colors loaded, like a PLA and ABS, and then don't have to switch all the time. And the second reason is mostly for like dual material printing, like not where I want to have colors, but like, for example, I want to have transparent part in like a normal colored part or something like that. Or things like, I have no clue where to put it now, but, oh yeah, right, directly in front of me. Things like that. I want to print something like that without constantly having to switch out the filament. The things like with the Voron Zero I have, like it's printing everything I want, and it's my go-to printer. So this one needs a little bit of like a special trait. Which is a larger size, of course. but also like a very slight multi-material capability is nice. So yeah, so coming back to this, so this is kind of like, yeah, not super nice solution. So I jumped on Fusion and I modified this part. So this one is my modification. And instead of having only one inlet, we now have two. So basically, this goes on here like that. And this goes on here like that. And then, yeah, you can kind of see it. So I'm just using filament to show it. So basically the filament path is kind of like a Y. The same basically as this part here. It's just now internal to the clockwork replacement here. And now if we put this together, we have two inlets and we can feed the filament through from each side. So that's kind of like the idea. It's kind of like the absolute maximum you can fit in here. I had to move the screws around a bit, so we have only one screw on top here, and yeah, it's a bit different, but you see it like it's pretty much the same part except for the slight difference here. So if you want to build that and you want to follow my streams whatsoever, like you can just use the single part, and I just use this double part, but there's not really any difference for you. Yeah, and I'll just put this to the side and we will use this. How secure are the Bowden fittings in the printed part? They are really secure. So I'm really happy with this ECAS 04. They're called ECAS 04. Like I'm really happy with this fitting in general because there's zero, like you can push it in of course, but you can't pull it out. Like there's no way you can pull it without pushing on the collet basically. Like there's no way you can like there's not like a little like gap here, or not gap, like a little end stop here, so you cannot push it in, but you also cannot pull it out. This is really secure. Like even now you see like I'm pulling on it. I'm pulling on it and it doesn't come out. There's a little like like little tiny you can see it somewhat here, right? Like a little groove basically. And this part has the matching counterpart here. Here you see it. So this is like really secure. Like if both parts are on, there's a screw in the middle, right? The screw goes through here. So this basically clamps those parts completely together. Like there's no way this comes out. Like if this comes out, everything's broken. Yeah, cool. So that was kind of like my Friday evening building this. But I think that will work out quite nicely. So, what's the plan? I would say let's finish up the stealth burner front, just because we've kind of started. The tool head section is kind of done. Like we need to like crimp the wires, of course, but I will do that at the end when the stealth burner is assembled. So I would say let's finish this up. This also includes we have to solder the boards, the PCB board. I'm not gonna do I forgot it. Canvas. I'm not going to do canvas. So this will be kind of like a traditional setup, but the board itself is not soldered. So we have all the connectors here and we need to solder it ourselves. So that will be part of that. And then once this is done, I think we can assemble this. Like there's not a lot of assembly going on. Like it's just a couple of screws, and praying that I didn't like mess something up while modifying this part. And I think we can just, like once those two parts are together, we can just throw it on the printer. And that would be kind of like my goal for today, that we have everything mounted to the printer. Yeah, lengthy intro, but let's start by checking out the manual. So we worked through this completely new experience. You also see it here. So basically the bottom part is done. This part on the back is basically what I was just showing with the 2 inlets basically. And then this section is what we're working on now. Let's see, yeah. So we went through here, we did that. Yeah, that's kind of like the last step we skipped over. So we kind of ended up here, and we did not modify the fan yet. And I think this also doesn't quite talk about the tool head boards. So we kind of need to figure out how we do that. Okay, let's jump to here, and I will also make sure to show you the manual here on the side of it, if anyone is interested. And then let's just collect some parts. So we need this one we need later, actually. This one we need, and I think this one doesn't, it only has one connector soldered here on the side. We kind of need to figure this out. I think like those are all directly soldered to wires, and this one is like a connector that connects this board to the board on the side. So we need to see how that kind of plays out. So this one we need. We will need... Oh god, okay. There's some cables hooked into each other. Oh. We will also need the fan. Here you can enjoy my very organized organized box. These are the fittings. I think we will need no more for now. Oh yeah, this one we will need. So I have a little tiny bit of this like high quality Capricorn PTFE tube, which we will use to connect the tool carriage with the clockwork replacement basically. But I'm looking for the fan. Let me quickly see. Where did I put the fan? Let's check out the second chaos box. Also, as this like build progresses, like it's not getting more organized. Here it is. I'm usually quite like a person who likes everything neat and tidy, but it kind of went overboard at some point in this build. So, okay. What do we need to do with this? So we need to remove the front cover, and then basically we cut off. It's kind of behind the thing now, but like we cut off those ears here, left and right. And then this will fit in here basically, like this. Yeah. And then we need to see, like we then have the fan cables here, we have the fan cables here, and we have the LED, which then most likely need to be soldered to this board. And I know this one goes kind of like on top here somewhere. So let's destroy our nice fan. I'm always so like sad in a certain sense to destroy them, because like the moment like I mean this is reversible of course, but if you cut them, like it's kind of a done deal for this fan. Let me see, I need something to... Let's use this box here. See if you make a nicer angle here. What am I doing? I'm certain there are faster ways to do that. Okay, that's one side. We need to clean this up a bit. No, it's not super nice. It most likely won't fit like that. This will create a massive, massive mess. Almost. I'm also so sorry, this entire table is like super like jiggly and the camera is mounted to the table. I just 3D printing lab, use a sharp knife. Yeah, I also have that actually. I thought this would be like the cleanest way, but I mean, clean is relative, right? Like it creates a massive mess here. But let's use a knife to clean it up, I guess. Trying to make it like nice and round, because I think otherwise it won't fit in here. Let's do a quick test fit. And then I quickly have to vacuum clean all the dust. So I think it might fit. I mean, this one is flexible here. I don't think it wants to go in yet. I think we need to cut off a little bit here. This side doesn't really matter because there's this flexible arm. Like this one is flexible here, so this one doesn't really matter. But this one we need to make a little bit smoother. I also have a I mean, at least this plastic is like really easy to work with. Like it's really easy to file down. I would hate to do this with PLA. PLA is always so like shitty to file. Okay. Try again. Perfect. Here we go. This looks good. Just need to see like how we route this cable. Because here's a little screw hole. Not sure if you can see that, like up here. And I don't want to have the cable in a position where the screw can basically damage the cable. Oh no, and this is not center. You see that? I know there are different fans, And this one is seemingly one of the kind where it's not center. Ah, too bad. I did not think about that. Okay, let's try to route the cable. That's the thing, right? Like, so this board comes now on top. I think this is where we need this. No, this needs to go to this side most likely. So I guess we can just route it on top here. We just need to figure out the correct orientation of the board. So I think this one looks this looks correct because the Voron logo is now upright. So if this would go in here like this, we need to quickly look it up in a second. So here's the part cooling fan. Like this is labeled part cooling fan. So we can basically just have it here like this. Then this is out of the way of this screw here. So this would then work. Bit annoyed, to be honest. Like, not sure if you can see that. Like, you can see the fan blades on this side, and here it's like super close. I don't think this has any impact on the cooling performance necessarily, but it would be nice if the fan would be centered, obviously. I read about that this is a thing that sometimes happens with the, I think it was even explicitly mentioned the Sunon fans, but I'm not quite sure. Well, what a shame. Okay, then let's figure out how we have to install the board. We need to solder this connector here. And this will then later basically, this board has a matching connector on the side. So this will kind of be like that later in the tool head. And then this connects back to the main board. If we go through here, and maybe not lose everything, we have this connector. And I already saw the other one here. So those two. They go in together. So we just need to figure out what goes where. I think I remember that this one goes on here, like this right angle thing here. And this one goes here. And then as you put on the self burner front, basically you plug this in like that. So this would be then the, how it later would be in the tool head. Which would mean we would need to solder this part here. But let's quickly look up some images online and double check. And I will also quickly use a vacuum cleaner and just clean up this entire mess here, because otherwise I will have like black dust everywhere. Okay, give me like a minute, 30 seconds, 30 seconds to a minute for like a quick maintenance round, and then I'm right back. 1 second. Here we are. So, try to get the last remnants. I think then we are cleaned up. Cool. Then let's do some web research. this looks like what we have. Yes, accept. So, as always, thanks Maple Leaf makers for your help here. Yeah, so you see this socket part goes in here, and then I kind of figured the orientation. We need to see what screws are used here. Okay, he's trimming that to make sure it's flush, most likely. Yeah, just to make sure it's like super flush. Oh yeah, it's all staying there. And then he's setting the pads. And then we are just putting that on and soldering everything. Oh, I have the same same wire strippers. They're very excellent. If anyone needs wire strippers, the engineer PA something, they're really good. Yeah, he leaves a little bit of cable there, a little bit of loops. And this goes on the side, but this is for later. Okay, that seems doable. Then let's just follow his lead. The tip should work for us. Soldering wire cable somewhere stuck, but it should be fine. So just to double check, this goes on here like that with the Voron logo facing us, and then it's kind of like mounted like this. So the plug needs to go to the side with the Voron logo. Just quickly rig that up. I just put like the lower jaw here basically under the plug, so this is now okay, so we can solder on that now. Maybe use our... I think this is always like the best position for you to see. Let me know if this is too close, like always happy for feedback. So, yes, my solder cable is somewhere a little bit stuck. I'll just put the printer on it, so I don't have to pull on the cable the entire time. No, that's not how you do it. Okay. Let me quickly take a look at this up close. Not pretty, but the connector is flush. This one we need to trim up anyway, so that should be fine. Okay, then let's make sure this one is nice and flush. I'm just checking that the connector is on like straight, but it looks good. I think what we can do is maybe we can just... I'm not sure if this is smart. Oh. Yeah, I'm not sure if like filing it is the best idea. It is now relatively flush. Like there's still like millimeters standing out. A little bit less most likely. Let's just see if we can make it fit. This makes a very flush impression to me. Like it doesn't whip, like wiggle back and forth or something. I'll just put like another cup of coffee. Just don't want to file on the PCB. That would be would not be good. Just as feedback, like, is this loud when I use this vacuum cleaner, or is that something I can do on stream? Okay, let's also tin all the pads, but from the front, of course. Okay. And then I guess we can just throw it in. We just need to figure out what screw we need to use. So... this must be some form of M3. And these are the screws we got for the stealth burner. I'm not sure if they will include the screw we need there. PCB doesn't come with any. In doubt, we can just use one of our trusty Ender recycled screws. Let's see where I have my Allen wrench. It's hiding. Maybe we use something like this. This looks like a M3 by 6. And we have a second one of that sort. Not over tighten that. Let's just screw it into plastic. It doesn't really matter. But this looks good and it looks flush. Like if you check from here, there's like not really like a gap here between the PCB and the fan. There's a bit of a gap here. So maybe we need to work a little bit more on this connector. So I kind of want this to be like as flush as possible. Yeah. Let's take off a little bit more from this connector here. I also now see that this one is not really well soldered. We should. I mean, it's soldered. It's just like not as much solder as the other ones. Is that an important one? Let's maybe throw a little tiny bit more solder on that, just to be sure. Better. Yeah, now it's pretty almost flat. Oh, I also start fighting off on the edge. So this is how far we go. Oh yeah, I was like taking off a little bit of, you can see it like showing here on the edge. But it's very flush. Didn't break any traces or something, so should be fine. Okay, then let's put it on. So, looking at this is a part cooling fan. I of course know which voltage this is. I think it's 24 volts, so we need this one, I guess. This is speed, we don't have that. A1, I don't know. So I would say this one goes on 24 and ground, but I'm not 100% certain. Then here, this is the LED, which is quite straightforward. So this is these three cables here, where red is the 5 volt, yellow is the signal, and black is ground. So this one is also quite straightforward. Leaves us with this cluster here, which is the hot end fan. So also here we then have, it's the thing, like most likely we want to have this on A2 and this one on A1, so we can control it. So most likely that is how we do this. This is also 24 volts. Let me quickly take this off again, just to double check that we have a 24 volt fan. I'm 99% certain, but let's check. 24 volts. Now it's on video if I ever need it. Here's 24. Hey, greetings back to Germany. So then let's quickly check how Maple Leaf Maker solers those wires. I would assume it's A1 and A2, but let's check and be certain. So where do we go? Can I just zoom a little bit here? He shortens all the cables. No, he solves it to 24 volts and S. Huh. $24 volts and S. I mean, in the end, it doesn't really matter. because it's just labels, right? Like we just need to be consistent with it. So if we check this one here, oh, I have to read it up close. I mean, here it says it's actually larger now on the screen. So this is S2A, S1A. Or we can use a multimeter and trace it. No, this seems to be the stepper, so that's not. See, oh god, so small. So there's a part cooling fan and a hot end fan. Those two pins here. These one above my finger. After I finished my build for 2.4, I will do the same for my first printer, converting an Ender 3 port to an Enderwire. So your guide will help me in the future. Happy to help. Yeah, that's exactly what I do, right? It's my first printer. And yeah, it's quite funny. Like Seaboard also has the kit, like the Ender Pro to Switchwire kit. I'm not sure if you're aware of that. But they market that exactly like that. Save your first printer. So we are seemingly not the only ones doing exactly that. So I'm looking at the Maple Leaf Makers video here again. So hot end fan and part cooling fan, which is I think what I just pointed out. Maybe mine are slightly different, but depends how you look at it. Oh yeah, it's on top, kind of like inverted for me, but it doesn't matter. I'm just confused that he soldered it to the S. Like if we look what he's doing here, he soldered it to 24, right? That's fine. That's exactly what we expected. And then he soldered this to the S. And this confuses me at the moment. He also solders this one to S. So I would just copy what he's doing here now. And hoping that's fine. I'm thinking about doing the conversion to my Ender 3 first printer. Do you recommend the Seaboard kit? I have no experience with the Seaboard kit, right? Like I linked all the parts I used in the description. I can't speak for the Seaboard kit. Like I know it exists. That's what I know. It will save you some hassle, I think. Like I basically bought all the parts individually. And I already figured that like the hardware kit I bought is not for the revision 2, right? Like what I'm building here is the Enderwire revision 2, which has the difference between the Rev 1 and the Rev 2 is there are quite many. Oh. Okay, my shortcut board just decided to not work anymore. So the Rev 1 basically ends here, right? The Rev 1 is as deep as the Ender 3, and the Rev 2 has this extra section here in front. And the reason the Rev 2 has it is that the Rev 2 works pretty much with the like normal Switchwire enclosure. So the benefit of the Seaboard kit is it's cheaper, right? Like I basically spend, I have the calculation under the video. I think it spent like 340 euros for the parts here. These two deck panels and the bottom panel alone were 70 euros because this is like custom made basically. The Seaboard kit comes with the entire enclosure and costs pretty much the same price, 340, 50, 60 euros. So from a price perspective, go for it. But I can't say how good the quality of the kit is. Okay. But let's do exactly what he does. So he solders this to 24 and to S. Let's get our trusty engineer wire strippers. I will leave a little bit of a loop here as well. I think he did the same. Just so like that it's easier to get sport in and out. Okay. I lost my pliers. Like, I have no clue where I put my pliers. Which is a bit odd. Like, I'm looking for them since like 2 weeks. And I should just order new ones at this point. I quickly have to... I have to get a bit closer here to see what I'm doing. My eyesight is not that good. That looks good. And then those two basically same deal, right? So one goes to the 24 volt, which is the outermost one, and the other one goes to S. I'm also like checking whether we can have like a little bit of a loop here. Maybe we can kind of like just bend it like this so we have like a little bit of like a loop. It would be like kind of this length. So just like to quickly add to this entire Seaboard kit discussion, if I would do it again, I would order the Seaboard kit. That's, I think, what I can say. Don't want to damage the ground cable. Yeah, that's soldered as well, and then we can kind of like tuck them in here. Maybe I add like a tiny bit of like Captain tape or something to hold it down here. And we just do the same for these three. Just a question, do we have... I mean, it should be fine here, right? To have the cables here. I don't think this will be an issue later on. I mean, worst case, we can desolder it and like we can always shorten cables, right? So then this. So the first one, it's a bit hard for me to read that actually because like the light reflects. So the first one is 5, then we have ground, and then we have signal. Okay, now we can tuck it all in here, and this looks like it's like nothing stands out. So this works. And I wonder whether we need like a little bit of tape over there. I think it's kind of like staying in place quite well. So basically we can now unscrew that, and like the cables are not like so short that you can't lift it anymore. And then this goes on here like that. So let's do the following. Let's solder this little connector here. And then we can use the multimeter just like to trace, like we can plug it in and we can use the multimeter to trace those connectors here. Because I'm still a little bit curious about this S. So let's see. But yeah, this means basically this part is kind of done. I'm still annoyed that this is not, not centered. I will be for some time. Maybe I'll replace the fan at some point because of that. So let's put this in like this. I think I also want to quickly swap out the soldering tip. The tip is quite big, that doesn't really help me at the moment. Yeah, so let's just create a kind of like cable trash on one side. Shall we then just solder this board completely? Like if we now start soldering like parts of that, let's just go for it, I would say. And solder this all the way. Let's just make sure that we solder it to the right side. So this one is the front-facing part. Let's just, while the soldering iron cools down, let me see. Why can't I? What is that? Just see how he does that. Let's see. He doesn't show how he's... Oh, yeah, of course, like his is pre-soldered, but yeah, doesn't matter. So here's the end product we are aiming for. It's the same PCB that we have, but it means everything is mounted to the front side, which makes sense, I guess. So I'm just having that here. That means we basically just mount everything to this side. Okay. Let's go for this tip. Let me also quickly check what's up with my soldering iron cable. Like it's snagging on something. That's a bit annoying. Let me quickly check on the back side of the table. Give me like... Okay, sorry. Now I have like five times the length of cable, which is really nice. Let's let that quickly heat up. And let me organize my stuff for a second. Lots of connectors to solder. Oh, and one resistor. I need to see where the resistor. Oh, I see the resistor. Is it a resistor? No, it's a diode. Okay. Would I advise to get the unsoldered board? No. But it's kind of fun to solder. So. Makes it truly DIY. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, it's also like quite reflective for you. So, check that this is somewhat okay. Uh-oh. That's not straight. And it's not nicely soldered here. Oof, okay. This looks like a go back to start situation. Like it's definitely not straight. Like we can't play like that. Did I just say a second ago like soldering is fun? How are you doing here? This one here in front is a little bit... No. Didn't want to melt. Okay. Let's see if we get this straight. Oh, it's super dark here. Oh. Sorry. I'm turning the wrong knob. Okay, let's just see if we heat up all the ones in the back. I really hate desoldering those headers. Doing it on camera is not really helpful. Oh shit. Let's quickly see. We have somewhere a bit of flux. Okay, this is kind of like the end of my soldering skills. Yeah, this is annoying. Let's do the following. I'll desolder that later. I don't think we need this today. Let's continue with the setup. Or we can actually let's just solder the rest of it, and then I'll desolder that stupid connector later. So this, let's just populate this. So this goes here. This goes here. This goes here. And we have those connectors. Let's maybe solder those three. Okay. Then these are on, and then let's do the JST connectors. So, well, it's not best if we solder them. Yeah, let's just do it one by one. Yep, that was a bit too much. So next JC is on. And the last one. I have to hold it from the back a bit. Okay, so I think these were all the connectors. I mean, technically we can solder on this one on the back, but I think we can just skip that. Like this for the extruder motor. And we won't have extruder motor, so we can just ignore that. There's this diode here we need to solder. Let's just put that in. We're basically done. Like, these were all the things we need to solder. Oh, those are connectors. Aha. Okay, well, now it's late. I think these are meant for the fans to be used here. Now it's late, but if you don't want to solder directly, I think that would be an option. Yeah, then the last one is basically this big one that's missing. Let's quickly do that, and then minus this not being straight, we are done with this board. Making sure this is flush. Okay, and we have a populated board. That's kind of what I expect it to go, minus this one. Maybe it's best if we just put flux here, use a bit bigger soldering tip, and just trying to heat them up all at the same time. Then we can, it's not that bad, like, it's just like if we now plug it in, like this is definitely not perpendicular, like, it would work. Let's try to make it a little bit nicer. Okay. Then this is then later to crimp these connectors. That will be also tremendous amount of fun. Crimping like 100 connectors. Okay. Then, how about we quickly assemble this? Yeah. Oh, this is the correct part. We will need some heated inserts here for sure. So let's quickly check. I think on the front sides there are no heated inserts. Yeah, so these are the screws that go through here. That's too short. So we'll have like 3 heated inserts here on the back. This one also looks like a, yeah, heated insert. This one, this one I'm not sure. Maybe we can quickly check Fusion, because I don't think there's a manual for this part. At least I didn't see it. Let's quickly check Fusion. Let me just quickly bring up the Fusion file for this specific part, because we do have all the things here. For some reason the hardware is a little bit misaligned, but it should help us see. So this means we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 heated inserts here in the back. Then the cable thingy here also has like 3 in our case. But then I'm not quite sure. Oh yeah, this one is here is for the cable chain anchor. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the back. We have those 2. Then we have 1 here on the side. We have 1, 2 here in front. 2 here. That's loaded. Okay, let's try to put them all in. Let's see. Okay, then let's put it down to heated insert temperature. I usually use like 240-ish. Okay, maybe let's start with this one. So we have 2 here. And I think these are the only ones we have for this part. This goes here and this goes here. And I think then this part is already done. Then here on the front, let me also quickly show you that again. On the front, do we have parts here on the front? No, but we have 3 on the side and then the 6 on the back. Let's quickly do the ones on the side first. So that's here. It's all black. But yeah, it's 1, 2, and then down here's 3. Okay. And now the madness of the back. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just as a reminder, like the hole pattern for me is slightly different than for the standard part because I have the dual bone. And I had to move around some of those holes. Actually. Oh god, that was not smart. I wanted to put this like part under here so I can press down properly. Let's see. I lost Simile 2. I'll find them later. Oh, there's one, so one more is missing. I think I saw the last one going to the floor, so it's somewhere down there. Whew, many. Okay, so this part here, it's the red part that you see in Fusion. Like it's meant to be accent, but for me, I'm like a very black stealth burner person, so this is all black for me. Then we now also need our 2 collets. Let's make sure they're kind of like aligned here. It's quite interesting, like it's not like a super symmetric part, but they are perfectly centered and mirrored. But like the stealth burn geometry is not quite center, it seems. Or like mirrored. Is the wrong screw? Now it's 1 block. Nice. I think this one is the same screw. And this one seems as well. I'm just a bit confused because this is a different... You can see that, right? Like this one is slightly different than the others. Yeah, this one is the same and it fits. Oh, this one is not quite nice. No, it's better. Oh, they're all not nice on the side. Oh. Oh, okay. And this one stays. And then basically there's this little spacer here that goes on top. And now basically the PCB board would go here. It's the part we just soldered, so this would go here. Just out of curiosity, let's just assemble it quickly. I'm not sure what screw we need here. I don't think like they included screws for those boards. I mean, we have some selection. Let's just try this. So I just want to quickly like throw it on there just to see if the not quite perpendicular angle here is a problem or if that's just aesthetics. Not sure what's the best way to align it. Well, it's definitely too long. Don't think I have... Oh, there's one. There's one more screw of the length we need. Oh, maybe it's too short. Oh yeah, this one is too short. This one is too short. So if this is too short, I fear this one is too long. Okay, this spacer is a bit of an odd design. Oh, it's actually that length is okay. Length is okay. Huh, cool. So it's mounted after some struggle. So, and then basically this would go here. So this works. It just goes together perfectly. Now you can see there's the connection point here. So although it's not quite straight, it works. Then I would say let's just throw the solder that I removed back on those pins. But that's a good learning, right? Like you see clearly that those pins are not straight, but it doesn't really matter. Like it just fits together quite well. Perfect. And then the last thing that's missing is the cable cover on top. Now we have like more or less like a complete stealth window. Now you see like all the pins. Basically, it's all black. It's terrible. All black. You see the pins here on the back basically poking out. So then let's quickly remove that again and then add the solder we need. I think it's best to add this spacer first with the screws and then put it on. I think that's the preferred way of doing that. Okay, let's put it back to solder temp. And solder everything in place. Kind of keep those screws together. Yeah, so basically, seems like for the boards you can just use like M3x8, which you should have plenty. That's the one type of screw you need all the time. And I think this is the last solder action for today. Yeah, of course I can. Create a bridge on the last one. That's it. And quickly do an inspection. Oh, looks fine. Like now let's just throw this last connector on there. Like maybe in the future I decide to make it direct drive extruder. And then I'm happy that I took now the 30 seconds to do that. Here we go. Was it 30 seconds? I'm not quite sure. Cool. Then no more soldering for today, which makes me happy. Let's quickly clean up the solder stuff. And let's throw on the spacer. And I think we can also start crimping up some wires. So now we have a lot of connectors on the board that want to be populated. Okay, this is really not that fun. This one is in, and this one is in. I really would have preferred that spacer to be part of the main thing. I mean, like, yeah, it's a bit difficult to print with overhang and everything, but might have been nice. Cool. Okay. I mean, we can put this now together. And this kind of fits together. Right? So now we have all those cables here. And these two connectors are actually the one that go here, which makes sense. So this is like a thermistor 0, I think, and this is hot end 0. So we need to crimp them on here. I wonder whether we should do that now, because now it's like, you know, like easy to access and everything. So we can kind of judge the length of cable we need. So this would be something like that, I guess. And this, something like that. Okay. Both of them don't have like any polarity, which makes life easy. Let's see what we have here to crimp them. So this must be these two connectors here exactly. These fit. Then let me just, for fun's sake, use the cut off part and just do one test crimp. Are they different? Or are those all the same? They are different. Okay. They are slightly different. So the long one, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So we have 22. And I think this one is this one. Here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 14. So we can fuck up 8 times. That's a good quarter. Then I assume this one here, I have spare ones of those, I'm pretty sure. That's 8. So these go here, I think. And these ones, I would assume, are for the mole, for those like DuPont connectors. I would assume. Let's just crimp one of them and see what happens. Okay. So that's way too long. Okay. Crimping is fun. Still a tad too long. I think this will be quite difficult to crimp. Like the isolation is really thick. Which doesn't make it easy. Like the hind legs. Oh. They're already destroyed. The hind legs basically barely fit around the isolation. It's so thick. That's why we do a test crimp, right? Yeah, that doesn't work. With this isolation, that won't crimp nicely. So maybe we can. Try to remove this like red fabric a little bit. It's good that we do a test. This also doesn't melt. Yeah, this one is already gone. So that was one of our 4. No, we only have 2 failure attempts. Because there's another connector like this. Okay, but now it kind of fits around. Yeah, okay, now it works. So we have to remove this red isolation part a little bit. Now we have a good crimp. Oh, mine is that I just crushed it with my hands, which speaks for my strength or for the poor quality of the connector there. Okay. Then I guess let's do the real deal. Let me quickly try if I strip it with the 24. Yeah, I ripped some strands there. So I need to use 22. Okay, let's do it really short. Then we need to very carefully remove a little bit of the red. Okay. Okay, so I removed the red part. Not a question. Let me also quickly check whether this is actually the right connector for here. But it's a more like, yeah, that fits. So. Let's put that on. I always pre-squeeze the connector a little bit so it like stays in place. Well, fuck. That didn't work. Also, how is COVID where you live? I don't know. I haven't heard about COVID. Around here, COVID is going like. The question is, where's here? I actually read the article this morning in a German newspaper that like you shouldn't treat COVID differently from the flu at this point, which I guess makes sense. Like, I mean, it's here to stay, right? Not like it's going anywhere. So we'll just be seasonal, I guess. Okay, let me just try to crimp over the... Okay, and now it's okay. These cables are just a little bit too thick to be crimped with this connector, I think. I mean, it's okay because there's no movement on those cables. But I think this is not... Oh, ugh, I cut too deep. Whew. These cables are not nice to crimp. I can attest to that. Removing this red stuff worked so well on the other cable. So if you buy one of those sets, I would like for the boards, I would highly recommend picking up some spare connectors. Because I'm already short one now. I have other ones, but like I have theirs here, but they don't give you a lot of like not a lot of room for failure. Okay, let's... Which orientation do you go in? Illinois, US. From a school of around 660 people, including me, got sick last week. Oh shit! I hope you're feeling better by now. But me was bad for a single day and just cough for a couple of days. Okay, so at least it wasn't like a week-long endeavor for you. I think I never caught it, which is quite surprising. Not quite sure how I... Is this the wrong connector I'm crimping here right now? Not quite sure how I managed. Like, I had a couple of times I had like symptoms last year that kind of like fit the COVID bill, but I always tested negative. I think I crimped the wrong connector here. Which would be very surprising. Which... What else could it be? Oh shit. I crimped the pond. Oh, that sucks. Okay, I picked the wrong one. This is DuPont. But at least the connectors are now on, so I can't put them on. Okay, so this strip is... This one must be JST. Okay, so this one was the correct one then. Okay. Ooh, now the cable gets a little bit short for my liking. Oh, that sucks. I think I screwed up. Yeah, it was too short to begin with. Ay. That's not good. Okay. Let's crimp the... Ah, shit. Ah, that's annoying. Crimp the white one, but then we have to extend those two cables here, which I was not very keen on doing. Hey, okay. I wanted to leave extra long, a little bit of extra cable, and I still screwed up. Wrong connector, wrong length. Okay, that one is good. Okay, at least one success. So let's see if that fits now. Oh, you only see my hat. Sorry for that. Also doesn't quite want to go in. Now we have a success. Yeah, this one is not in. Try to convince that to go in too. Yeah, this is now on. Okay, cool. If we put that back, this can now go here. So at least one cable. One cable is a success. Yeah, like even I mean I now have to recrimp it, but even with that it's too short. Even as it is now. Okay. Then the question is, what cable do we use to extend? What cable do we use to extend? We can of course use the cutoff we have from this cable. Let's just snip that off. But I don't like crimping on this cable, so I'm thinking whether I should quickly... I mean, we have also this PTFE cable here, which we will use actually to run the heated, the hot end from tool head to the board. So I'm thinking whether we just use a bit of that. Just kind of like generously cut off a bit. And this is 18 gauge. Just half. Remember when I said we are done with soldering for today? Back to soldering. I'm also thinking most likely would be easier to quickly undo that. And we have a bit more cable to work with. Okay, cool. Then yeah, I was not really keen on soldering that cable. Also quickly put on some heat shrink because I always forget that. Yeah, this kind of annoys me now. Can't lie. Could have been like a very nice clean cable run. Now we have to extend for like 2 centimeters. Okay. Let's just quickly thin them up a bit. Do the same with the other side. Need to be a bit careful here because they only go to like 22 gauge and I'm stripping 18. I also have like automatic strippers there. Actually, let me just... I don't use them that much. Or maybe they're quite good. Yeah, that's the thing, like why I don't like using them. Like they always damage, like the jaws always damage like the isolation of the cable. Which is of course not so nice. Okay, let's put it together. That qualifies as definitely unnecessary work. So... yeah, I'm missing my tweezers. I'm trying to make sure that I have kind of like a good contact area there, because this will like see a little bit of power going through it, of course. Well, I'm not really like keen on soldering that. After the stream, I'm gonna order new tweezers. I'm really done. It's really like a essential tool. I'm so... confused where mine are. Like, I know they must be here. Like, I didn't take them out of... Like, even if I take them out of room, like, my flat isn't that large that I can, like, lose something like that easily. Okay, let's see. Like, these are not pretty connections, but... I mean, it's a... should have plenty of contact area. Well, no, but I should have, like, made the overlap a bit bigger. And should be fine. It's like 3 times the cable diameter, so. Oh. I had my lighter here. Okay. One unnecessary solder job later. Let's put this back. Why doesn't that fit? Now it fits. No, it was not this one. This one. I see the heated insert we lost. Oh. Okay. Then we kind of have this one now as like a guide as on how long this should be. Yeah, we literally need like 2 centimeters. Right, so this goes in here. Let's just quickly. Out the way. So I think it's best to route it on the back of that screw. Yeah, it's really annoying. Like it's exactly the length. Like it's just like centimeter too short. So we literally have to do it like this. This is like I just cut it ever so slightly too short. And we now cut off like a little bit more of the red cable. The only benefit is now like this one is way easier to crimp. So, hey. Nope. Okay. A bit too long. Would be hilarious if I now fail to crimp this one as well. Okay, this one is on. Easier to just put it on with my hand. Okay. That's awesome. Get this in. Yeah, now it's in. Yay! Yeah, doesn't look too bad. Now we can, I think it's best to really route it by the back. But it will be a bit of a pain to like yeah, maybe like this. This should be fine. Yeah, but this will not be super fun to get on off. I can already tell. I'm not looking forward to doing this a lot. Okay, so these two are crimped. I'm actually not sure what else. Oh, we need the BLTouch. But for that, let's start mounting that on the printer, I guess. It's kind of like oops, clean up by just moving everything to one side. Wait. So last time we kind of left everything hanging here. So I guess these parts to the side. Let's start by mounting this here. There should be like 2 screws here on the back. We can put it on. And then we need to figure out what goes where. Let's start and try what screws we need here. So this seems pretty much the right length. And we need a hex nut from the back there. We need a hex nut from the back there. We could fiddle that in. Oh, this one is longer. Or is it? No, it's not. So those screws basically go in. Oh, you have to slide it in from the top and then the screws go in. Okay, here we go. Yep. It's also getting heavier. So I see like here and here are screws poking out. Like for me, this is slightly different than for most other people, most likely. Because I have the modified part for the BLTouch. And here, just see if I can do that from the front. Yeah, yep, that's one. It's in. Let's see if I can repeat that. Set angle. No. Yeah, here we are. Okay, now I can turn it back. Maybe we kind of like work from the side here. That's most likely the best. Yeah, this is in. And this is in. So, that's it. Okay, so these cable, I guess we can. It's a question, do we need to, if we can guide them from behind? That would be my question. And I left plenty cable so we can cut them short. It's a question whether we can like route it here like this. I don't think there's anything in the way. But maybe later on it looks better if it's like coming, or like if the cables stay under the cable cover here. Yeah, let's do it like this for now. I think there's also like enough space that we can change it at any point in time. So this would mean that they kind of need to have, I'll leave them a little bit longer than needed. Let's just do it like that. Okay. Now we need to crimp that, which also will be fun because it's quite short here. And we need to figure out where to crimp them to. I can use my trick here. Oh, I can't read that. So you quickly need to check out the schematic for that. Let's see. I mean, in the end, like again, it doesn't really matter how we wire it up. So yeah, it needs to be those that is what we have. Let me show you. So this is our PCB. Is it? No, this is different. This is different. It's almost the same, but not quite. This one is what we have. Also not quite the same. Let me see. I think somebody smart posted links under videos. Let me quickly. It's incredible how often I need my stream to look up stuff. Where is... Silicone blower stealth burner hardware kit? This one. So this is exactly what I have. Don't have a pinout per se, but so there's a probe and there's an auxiliary. I mean, in the end, it doesn't really matter. We just need to be kind of aware how we wire it up. So there's a 24, and I can't quite read that. Then the question would be like, what does the BLTouch need, right? I mean, we have 5 cables. I think the black and white one is just the end stop. Yeah, here we go. So the black one is ground, easy. And the white one is the trigger. Yellow is signal, and then we have 5 volt and ground. Okay. Then that means we need to steer clear of this 24 volt here for sure. Because this will be 24 volts. There is a 5 volt, let's see. I mean, there's a ground and a signal, so those two we can use, right? So ground would be the brown one, and signal would be the orange one. That means we need to steal 5 volt from somewhere. Boom, 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 boom. I don't see a 5 volt here, so there's not a ground, and then there's A1. Man, it's really... Let me quickly see if I get like a... Where do we find the thing? I should prepare something like that in the future before stream. I'm very sorry. This one is the same that we have. Yes. Okay, there's a bit more information here. So we have ground signal. Wiring instructions, git. Images. Let's see. No, that's definitely different. I mean, that's what we have, but I kind of would like to have like a PCB. Okay, so here we can at least read. Exactly, so here we have a 5 volt. We have a ground and a signal. So I would say we just use this one here for the BLTouch. Right? And we use the ground and signal, so we can use those two. So the probe would be ground and signal, and we have 5 volt ground signal is perfectly what we need for the where is it? So this trio of cables, oh sorry, it's completely behind the thing. So the brown, red, and orange wires go here to this plug, and the black and white one go here. Then that's something we can wire up. And then the auxiliary we have for whatever we feel like in the future. Okay. Cool. Then let's just do a quick test crimp again. And see how it goes. So this is the cutoff we have from the BLTouch. And then this time I'm fairly certain that we need these oddly looking ones. Try that. Yeah. Okay, that. I mean, the crimp worked, but it didn't hold, which is not nice. Let's try it again. I remember those BLTouch cables are super annoying to crimp. I crimped them for my Ender already. Yeah, this one is now on. Okay. Then let's quickly check with one of the casings. Like this one is the one for the extruder motor, which we don't use, so we don't have to fiddle it out again. Let's see if that's... pushing cable into housings is always fun. Again, like I'm missing my tweezers. Okay, so now I pulled out the cable, but it's the right crimp. Let's do one more test here, just to make sure that we kind of can somehow crimp that in a way that holds. Let's make sure that we have like a good amount of isolation in the jaws. Yeah. Yeah, I think I didn't have enough isolation in the crimp. This one is not good. Whew, okay, then let's do the fun part of crimping it on the printer. I wonder, can we still get the BLTouch out? I think we can. Maybe it's smart to just quickly like get it out again and then crimp the wires. Yeah, let's quickly get this off. Yep, it's stuck somewhere. Here we go. Okay, so this is off. And then I think we can exactly get the BLTouch like from below. It's easiest to just get it quickly out. And then do the crimping. So let's start with those two. And these are the last cables we need to crimp here for the tool head. Okay, let's throw that on here. Make sure there's like enough isolation in the crimp. Bit too long. Okay, let's see. Ooh, this is not nice. That should work. Yeah, I'm not super concerned with those connectors. Yeah, this one is a bit of shit crimp. Like you can see that the legs are folded backward. Like it's still like kind of penetrating the isolation. It's holding, so it's fine, but it's not nice. Okay, so if we look at this here, ground is in the center, and the signal's on the outside. If we quickly double check, the BLTouch is that ground black, of course, so black goes in the middle. Black goes in the middle. Hope this crappy crimp wants to go in there, otherwise we have to cut it off. Let's see. I'm convinced that. Like it's so crappy with those like thin wires, like you can't really push them. Okay, so that's the middle, and then we need to go. This one needs to go. Oh shit! It broke off. Like the wire broke. Oh, this is annoying. And back to start. Let's crimp them both again. I mean, we have plenty of those. I'm trying to not to squeeze it too tight this time. It also means, like, if it breaks, we shouldn't crimp it on the smallest setting, because this is how it breaks. Okay, yeah, it seems to be okay on this like medium sized crimp. It's like always when we break, then the crimping setting was too small. Yep. That jumped off. Squeeze a bit more. Yeah, that looks like. Oh shit! Sorry, you only see my head. It's a classic me. It's really hard for me to like focus on that stuff and then also like not obstruct everything. So we said black is the center. Let's try to gently push it in. And then white is on the outside. Also gently. I need tweezers. I repeat myself. Yes, not quite in. Now it's in. Cool, then this is one cable. I hope it's long enough. 3 more to go. Three more to go. Yep, that looks good. Just need to make sure that I don't accidentally have the other two wires in a crimping action. That would be not ideal. Hmm. Yeah, that's not a good crimp again, but should be salvageable. Okay, so the red one is a bit of a question whether it fits. Like, should be fine. Okay, so we have 3. Let's see. The brown one is ground. Ah, see, that's interesting. Here, this one, I'm not sure if you can see that, but this one is labeled 24 volts. Then it's ground and A2. If we check what we have here, and it's definitely the same board because it also has like this 1, 2, 3 on the back. Here it says 5 volts. So we need to be a little bit careful there. I would say it's best to, like, right now, like, it doesn't really matter like we have 3 pins, we can like still push them in different connectors. I would just want to quickly measure with a multimeter, like whether we have like connectivity to 24 here or to 5. Let me quickly grab a multimeter, and then we can do some measure fun. 1 second. Yeah, my shortcut keyboard is not working today. So here we are with multimeter. Let's see. So we have the continuity mode. If I now tap this pin here. Yeah, this is 24, definitely 24. Let's see if we have any 5s. Yeah, we only have 5. So here, this pin that goes to the front board, that says 5. I mean, that means we need to repurpose something. This one is most likely also hardwired to 24. Those 3. What do we? So on the outmost side we have ground, which, I mean, we know this one is not precise what I have in the browser, but this should be okay. So this is ground. Then we have in the middle. No. This is just not connected to anything. That is the fourth. 1, 2, 3. A, G, and D. Okay. But what is the middle one? That's the aux. Aux. Let's check what is this one. Like this is the one that we use for the black. Is there anything here? Yeah, it seems not connected to this port. What about this one? I mean, maybe also my soul job's just not good. Okay, so this one, the last one here goes to the bottom one here, which is FS, which is labeled FS, so that makes sense. And then the middle one is ground, I guess. Yeah. Okay. So then we have kind of a problem here on this plug, because I don't find where S is labeled, where S is connected to. Which is odd. Where should that go? Do we see that here? Goes through the diode. Yeah. Oh. Maybe the... I'm not quite sure, I'm not an electrical expert, but maybe the diode breaks the continuity. Okay, makes sense. It goes to probe. Okay, so I think our wiring for this one works. For the black and white one, that's fine. And for those, I think we just use this port on the bottom here. Like, you could also have zoomed in a bit more. A bit darker. Like this one on the bottom here. Because here we have, like the outermost is ground. That's perfect. The middle one is signal. Oh, it's this one, which is aux. And the one in the corner is the fourth, which is 1, 2, 3, 4 is the A, G, and D. So basically we can use, that's like my conclusion now, those two ports for the BLTouch. For this one, we just have to have like a little bit of like a special wiring, which means when we crimp this connector or like when we wire up this connector, we need to pay attention. But besides that, it should be fine. The only important part is that the brown wire needs to be on the outside. Because the brown wire is ground, that's the only one we can't like change because they're all kind of like connected. Just use this to push this in. Okay, and then the other two, it doesn't really matter because we will have to like custom wire them anyways. I would say let's just put the red one in the middle. And then the yellow one on the outside. Cool. So basically this goes then here and this goes here. So brown is on the outside here, then it's red, yellow, and then black and white on top. Where we need to then pay attention basically, like when we wire this up on the back, that we wired it up correctly for the red and black one, but it's fine for now. It should be okay. Okay, then I think we are now able to put everything together. Right? Like there's nothing left. So let's start with the BLTouch. In. I'll need to over tighten that. Then we can run that to the outside. We can I wonder why it's like I feel like it's a bit dark today. Like it's just like one black thing. I hope you can see. All right, I'll park them down here. So we can put that screw through here. And this goes through here. Now we have to add the nuts in the back. Oh, you know what would be helpful right now? Tweezers. It's literally the first thing I do after the stream. Going to Amazon and ordering new tweezers. I don't care if I find other ones. Ah, come on. So it's just... Okay, that is a success. That is a success. This we can tighten quite well. It's just like the nuts compressing the plastic. Okay. Then we know the black one goes on top. Right, and this one goes below. Okay, these are it. Then we can also mount now the tool head part. Just need to figure out what screws go where. I mean, this mounts like this here. I'm just not sure. I mean, there are the long ones on the bottom, of course. They go in here and here. Let's quickly. Oh, there's super long ones and there are long ones. I think these are only long ones. Oh no, these are the super long ones. Because they go through the entire thing. Right? These are these ones. We also have these. They go in here. You don't really see that much, right? I really don't know what it is today. Try to move the light a bit. I'm not quite sure if it's like my preview display, but it's like the entire picture looks really dark. It looks fine on the camera. They go in here, but I'm fairly certain that I'm missing like missing some screw, like something that goes here that looks like you would want a screw there. I'm not quite sure, so we will look up Fusion. Let's see. Let's see. So, yeah, see, there's a screw here. And it's not a super long one, it just screws directly into plastic. Okay, so basically we just add it, and then we can just hook it hook the tool holder basically into it. I'm just trying to do this at an angle, like I'm not sure if you see anything. Oops. Basically now the screw here. Do the same on the other side. It's interesting that they didn't add like a heated insert there. I wonder why. Now we can just hook this into position here, basically. Tighten that. Let's over tighten that. Okay. Oh, I squeezed the cables. Oops. My bad. So, yeah, technically we could now plug in the cables here, but I just realized we forgot something rather important. So we need the PTFE tube that goes in here. And I wanted to use this like high quality Capricorn tubing here. So this is how far it goes in here. And now the problem, quote unquote, is we kind of need to find the length we need to cut out. So we have like the perfect length here. I think the easiest actually is, like if I have it in here, I would just put a dot here and here, and then we can measure the distance between the two dots. I can just, doesn't work. I have a marker. I do have a marker. So let me just put that up. And then just make a dot here and a dot here. Okay, now let's see. So how much do we need to cut out? We need to cut out basically, needs to go from end to end. 49. It doesn't really sanity check, like it doesn't need to be super long then. Yeah, which makes sense. So basically, this is how much we cut out. So I just make another here. And then this should be the teeny tiny amount of PTFE tube we need. Okay. One thing I do quickly want to do, somewhere in this absolute mess I create here, I have this like drill bit, so I just quickly want to chamfer the PTFE tube a bit. Yeah. So now we have, you can see that, but there's like a slight chamfer now. So if you now put this here, I mean, it doesn't go far in. I mean, we have enough PTFE tube to do this again in case it's too short. But we should be able to do a test. I did have some filament here somewhere. I'm not quite sure where I put that. Huh. I lost my demo filament. I think I need to get some fresh demo filament because I quickly want to check that like that goes through there smoothly. Oh, whatever that went. Yeah, just quickly want to check that like if we put in filament that like we kind of like go through the Y section without like any major hiccups. There it is. So if I now feed it in, this is how deep it goes, which seems to be pretty much in the hot end. And it also like goes in without any hiccups. Let me quickly just put like some yeah, that looks good. Yeah, there's a little hiccup, like where you have to push through. Like it's not a lot, like there's like, the extruder will do that without any problem. Have a safe tech. What hotend are you using? I'm using the MicroSiwss hotend. I kind of want to recycle all the ender parts I have, so it's a very odd Voron build with MicroSiwss hotend and BLTouch. So I think this should work. Like, yeah, I see here like there's a little bit of a snap, but it's not bad. Like it's just like when you feed filament, basically. We will have to play around with it anyways. Like once this is done. I'm fairly certain we have to replace this part. That's most likely not the final form of that. Yeah, it depends a bit on the scene, like if the filament is curved in the way you put it in, it's fine. Like it slides right in. If you put it in an angle, like you have to snap, and if you put it in the opposite turn, then it's even worse. I think we need to try that out once we have the extruder. But this might need some iterations. I just wonder where this like here hiccup point is. Yeah, it's exactly where like the PTFE tube starts. Is it like an MK8? Yeah, it's an MK8 with the beautiful not sure if you can see that. It's MK8. It's basically compatible to the Creality hotend, more or less. It's just a full metal hotend, but it's a drop-in replacement for the Creality. My streaming setup is having a lot of issues, unfortunately. Yeah, mine too. Lost a bunch of my OBS scenes and my main camera is disconnecting a bunch. Oh shit. Ah, that doesn't sound fun. I do not envy you. I kind of have mine under control by now. Yeah. Cool. I would say like let's roll with that for now. And if we need to change stuff, we need to change stuff. See if that fits on. I think it fits. I think that fits. Let's see if we can tighten it down. But I also right now discovered like we forgot at least one heated insert. Or just for the lols. Yeah, this one, these screws are definitely too long, so we need something else here. That's not what's supposed to go in here. Maybe it's something really short, actually. I mean, I could look it up, but it's too short. Okay. So we make progress, but we need to backtrack a little bit here. Put this off. So, I just discovered we missed one heated insert for the cable chain mount. I'll just quickly collect all those like random screws we have here. Check here. The cable chain mount is supposed to go here on the back. And there's a heated insert missing. There is a heated insert missing. Oh no, it's not. Ah, that's for a screw head, but we forgot to put in the screw. So it doesn't really like change much because we didn't mount that part here. No, I think we can just disassemble it in place more or less. I'm not sure if the camera's HDMI connector is coming loose. Oh yeah, that's a common one. That would be a bummer. Hoping it's just a cheap capture card. Yeah. I actually like that's the same concern I have with mine. Like it's working fine, but I really want to get a cage with a HDMI adapter on it because I really don't want to be in a situation where the HDMI port breaks. Like it's one of those micro HDMI thingies. I assume you have the same. That's not really fun to replace those. A friend of mine had a broken SD card slot on a Sony camera, and you can fix it. Like you can replace the SD card slot, but it was quite expensive. It was like 400 euros or something, which I mean it makes sense for a good camera. But yeah, it's quite an expensive repair. And I assume the micro HDMI would be in a similar price range if you want to replace that. Okay, we need to put heated inserts in this part. Could have done that before, but why be efficient? It's probably the capture card that's not working. Yeah, let's hope so. Try to set up a bit of strain relief, but it can definitely be better. Yeah, I also have like, I mean, what I do. It's a bit hard to show, but I have the cables, like you see it's here in the side camera. I have the cables. Wait, I can actually. So the cables, if I move there, my camera should move there. Ah. So the cables are kind of like here with the cable tie, and then this one is quite loose. And then here's the white one is the micro HDMI, and then there's like a USB-C for charging. Definitely not perfect. So kind of I want to get a cage. And there's from Smallrig, it's like a little tiny HDMI cable which goes into micro HDMI and it just loops around, and then you have a full-size HDMI port that you can like screw to the cage. So I'm kind of wanting to get that, but then I also like use the camera for other stuff like quite regularly, so it's also like kind of a pain in the ass to like unbuild that entire thing all the time. Oh, why? Okay, now I put the camera in manual focus. However, I did that. Ah, here we go. Okay, let's put him. Oh, oops. It's like all the ABS. Not sure if you see it, but there's like. It's burning. Oh, good for your health, I think. So we learn ABS is not good for like 400 degrees. So also the tip is a bit bent. Let's see if we can carefully put those in. Goes quite fast with like 300 degrees. That actually works quite well. No force required. Like it's just like putting them in putting heated inserts in butter. No, seriously, I think I'll put the heat up next time I do heated inserts. I wonder if you can print a cage. Yeah, I wanted the same last week and I checked it out, and there was like for my I have a that's a Sony A7C. There's one option, but it kind of looks crappy. I guess the answer is yes, technically. But if I would want a cage, then I think I'll just buy one. They're not super expensive. I assume it's something I would have for some time. Okay. Quickly put that on. One. And then there's the. I really struggle with the showing the stuff. It's like all dark. Oops. Oh, this is definitely too short. This looks like it could fit. Yeah, that's a good one. Tighten the one from the front. Yay! Here our cable chain goes. Cool. So now that we have that, let's also quickly check out the cable cover, because I kind of see it coming that we need another screw for a cable cover somewhere. Man, this is such a mess here. So this kind of goes on like that. So there must be a screw here. Which, assume it's this one. I just need to figure out the length. Like this is definitely too much. Could be just a 8. Let's see if I have some. 8 might be a bit short. Like if you put an 8 here, It's definitely, I mean, would work, I guess, but we do have this, which is like a 12 or something. This looks like a good length. Oh. Oh, it's not getting better, is it? It's a bit wobbly. I mean, there's a second screw on the bottom to hold it close, so it should be. No, this is not. That seems nice. Okay, let's kind of turn it around. And then here there's like this little screw here. All black. Like it's really lesson learned, do not assemble black printers on stream. Okay. Then I guess we can plug in those cables now. Maybe without pinching those. Okay, and then the thermistor cable. Like those plugs take up so much space, like lengthwise. Like there's not a lot of like vertical clearance here. Oh, I quickly have to swap my my AirPod side. 1 second. Okay, now we can continue. There's not a lot of like vertical clearance. And basically here you put a screw on to hold in place. Okay, then I think this is all kind of assembled. Oh, this is also interesting. I'm not sure why I didn't consider that before, but we now see that our PTFT tube is just way too short. Like it should go up till here. So this is just, this section is missing. We could have tried to measure it like this, but basically now I know what's happening here with the snap we felt, right? Like that's why we have to snap. Let's see if I can. Oh, that worked well. So we have more. We have more. So if I just push it in. Just cut it like this. Case closed. Now it fits. Let's quickly get it out. And I do the chamfer thing again quickly. definitely the way to do that. Okay, then we need to put in, see if we can assemble it like that. Without everything falling out. Let me remove the screws. You don't have to aim for so many things. Oh, we forgot something. We forgot the spacer. There's one part missing. Let's see if we can wiggle it in there. No, we lost. Goes here. Can you measure it in Fusion? Sorry, I missed your message, but it's exactly. I assume you mean the PTFT tubing. Yeah, technically I could. The problem is that the PTFT tube depends on my hotend, right? And I don't have the Fusion files for this tool holder cage thingy. It's a bit difficult, like because like different Fusion files. So I'm just a bit lazy there. Most likely I could. So let's put this on. This is still too short here. See, we need a longer screw than this, but not like a lot longer. I mean, it fits, which is positive. Just need to find the right screws. They go in a long way. Okay, let's see what kind of screws we have to put in there. It should have been part of the Switch self-running hardware kit. But potentially we just used something somewhere that we shouldn't have used somewhere. It doesn't really matter. I'm very little concerned with like using screws from the main kit. Because we're kind of done with most parts, to be honest. Like the main Switchwire hardware stuff is pretty much done, I would say. Right, like we have the stealth burner now ready. The extruders are missing, of course. Let's see if we can kind of like wiggle this all in here. For there we have a nice view from our ender recovered screws. I guess that's it, right? What we could have tried before putting everything together is whether this is now better. But the answer is yes. Oh yeah. Yeah, now it's good. So it's really like the PTFT tube having the wrong length. Hi Alex. I agree, it looks great. I'm very happy. Not sure if you remember the discussion we had at some point, but this one is like the slightly like dirty dirty print where like the black and the yellow kind of like intermingled a bit. So this one is the one that ended up here. I remember you liked this one. Cool. Yeah, it's like all black. And I'm really happy that this works. Like this is, I mean, it goes pretty much all the way down. So this seems to be, and there's no hiccups anymore. Like no matter, like you feel there's like a certain like, oh, now here's a little bit of a snag, but it's like nothing the extruder can't push through when loading the filament. Yeah, and those won't be blue later. I have white/transparent PTFT tube. This will look like this. So I think this is nice. I kind of considered whether I should like paint those blue collets black with like just like a marker. Like just go for it. Still considering that because like this blue is kind of like standing out now. It's like everything's black and there's like blue. Yeah, I mean, it looks a little bit out of proportion. I heard people say that like the stealth burner on the Enderwire looks a little bit like too big, and it does look big, definitely. But it looks nice. I'm happy. So that would mean like, let me check the 21. That's kind of like my time, I guess. I'm kind of inclined on quickly throwing on the cable chains. Where I'm not quite sure, because this one doesn't bend this way. Oh, okay, we need to check how this works. But I'm kind of inclined on throwing on the cable chains. It might be easier to first have the cables, put the cables in and then put the chains. Also, I wonder how this is supposed to go on here. Alright, it seems to be like a problem for next time, I guess. It looks really good. I don't think we forgot anything. So the only problem, quote unquote, is like we kind of will have a little bit of a special wiring here. Oh, and there's a cable. Let's quickly clean it up. Does the hotend reach the whole build plate area? I think so. It should. We will find out in a second. because I now remember there's one more thing we can do. It fits really nicely together. Like, I'm really happy. Like, there's really little gaps and stuff. So that's I guess, a good sign. So last stream, I was wondering what these parts are for. And somebody comments pointed out to me that they are indeed the end stops. So I would say, let's grab some M3x8 and some of our very nice printed nut holders and some M3 nuts. And try to put them there. And then we can also test whether we can cover the entire build plate, but it looks good. So let's see. Oh, you don't see anything. So like those M3 nut holders, like they work really well. Like they have this like, if you can see that. Like they have this like half round shape thingy. So basically you put them in vertically and then they rotate and lock in place. Which is really, really neat. Like they work really well. You just drop them in like vertically. This one is a bit difficult. It will fall down. Let's see. I need to prep that up a bit. Just said they work well, and now they don't work well. Let's see. Up. Here we go. And then basically they just rotate like horizontal and lock in place. Now we can remove. Oh, I'm sorry. There was a self door in the way. It's assembled. So you can remove those temporary like end stop locks. Let's make sure this is straight. Okay, so now can we reach the entire bed? So I guess just bring this down. This is like now the outmost position. So the answer is almost. Like there's a little bit of a gap, right? Like half, what is that? 3 millimeters or something? It's the same here. So we definitely lost a little bit of like build area, which is actually quite annoying. That might be just enough because I have this, like those boxes here, and I used the entire build area for that, like minus 2 millimeters or something, and this might just be enough that I can't print another one, which would suck. At this point I need a new printer, I guess. Time for Trident. Front back is full coverage. Like now it's hanging over the end by like 3-4 millimeters, and here it's like perfectly on the front. So in Y, full travel, and in X, we have a little bit of a loss. I'm not quite sure where the... I mean, it's just contacting. It's just contacting it here. Like, here's the contact point with this like end stop block. So I'm not sure. I don't think we can change that. I was thinking whether we can move this block out, but I don't think we can. The reason is that this belt here, you can, so this belt here has like little tiny 1 millimeter gap between the belt and this printed part here. And it's the same 1 millimeter mini gap. It's even less than 1 millimeter here. I mean, it doesn't touch, I can push it in. But on the other side, it's the same. So you cannot move those blocks out. But besides that, I don't see a reason. It's maybe a bit of a bad design in a certain sense. Like if this would be like 2 millimeters like slimmer. Sorry. If this would be like 2 millimeters slimmer, then you would reach the full bed. But because you hit it here, you don't. Oh, that's also interesting. Not sure if this is good. So if you look in here, technically it's fine. Like you see on the back side, let's see if I can focus that. You see how the BLTouch, like the pin of the BLTouch is just hovering over the bed. Like the nozzle is touching right now. And the BLTouch probe is just hovering. Like if I pulled out, this is like now the extended position. Like this is fine, right? But then like in a stowed position, I mean, it's fine. It's just definitely closer than I ever had it while on the ender. Having the BLTouch in the ender. But I also don't think we can move it up in any way. If it weren't BLTouch, it would still be 2 millimeters above the nozzle. Not sure if I can follow you, Steve. Like, you mean if there would be a different probe? But this part here, like this carriage block is specifically made for the BLTouch. And I know that there's some standard about the nozzle position. So I assume this is fine. I mean, like I combined this like special this special carriage block here with a special tool holder for the MicroSiwss. So it can be possible that those two are just not working nicely together. But yeah, like the Prusa probes, they are higher up because they have like a larger trigger distance, right? The BLTouch kind of has this trigger distance. I mean, it could be like a millimeter further up for sure, maybe 2. It would still work. But yeah, I mean, it's fine, right? Like it's not touching, so I think we will be fine. If we have a problem here, to be honest, I really don't care about this BLTouch. I will just sand down like 0.5 millimeter of the tip. That will be my solution then, if we will face any problems there. Same distance for Prusa probes. No, Prusa directions say to place a nozzle on the bed and use a zip tie width to space it. Oh, okay. So it's kind of meant to be like that. But the Prusa probe then is also like the different one. But yeah, like for me, I always had it way further up, like in the BLTouch. But it's fine. We will see how it works. If we encounter problems, like I'm also ready to replace the BLTouch, right? Like I only have the BLTouch here because my goal was a little bit to reuse all the parts I had. I didn't want to buy like a lot of new parts. It's also why it's the same hotend as I had before. And it's the same main boards. It's like all more or less the same. Like on this tool head, the only part I bought was this fan. This is the Creality fan, which is from the Creality hotend. I mean, those ACAS 04 pallets I bought. But besides that, like the hardware parts are all reused. Oh, and the PCB board, of course, I bought. I kind of want to have this G-code thingy where it does the circles. That's nice. I'm also like quite happy so far. Not sure if like everyone saw that, but I went with like an alternative to the key bag here. So this is like the key bag was like quite expensive, and this is like a €2 thing. Kind of does the same, like it functions in the exact same way. Like it holds up the gantry. So yeah, this is a budget build as much as possible. Cheap parts, reusing parts. I don't have a CAN board for the exact same reason, because I just wanted to save money. So yeah, it's a budget build. The goal is to have fun, and I want to have a multi-material printer with like 2 materials, so that's kind of like what we do. Cool. By the way, I also saw that some people like already downloaded or like commented and rated my wire extension thing here on the bottom, so it's quite cool to see. Set your bolt up top so the wire to the gantry is a straight drop. Oh, you mean this part straight? Yeah, so my thinking was, because if I look at this part here down, if I set the bolt up, then it's kind of like going more towards the side, and it wraps here on the side. So my thing was that I have, nope, there we go. This section here is completely straight, so it doesn't wrap on the bottom part. And then here it doesn't really matter, I think. I mean, like on the topmost positions, it's a bit odd because it's like this. Like it stands out. But I'm never printing up here. It's just like, as a matter of fact, like this is the highest it will ever go, most likely. I mean, I can move it a little bit over, but do you have any specific reason why this needs to be straight and this one needs to be like tilted? Or is it just aesthetics? I mean, this is not perfect, but yeah, like never in my life did I print something this tall. It's like, cool. But I think I would then just wrap up for today. So that means next time we have 2 possible options in, right? Like we add the M4 extruders left and right. We have 2 and hook that up. Or we do the cabling. And to be honest, I'm a bit afraid. That's a lot of cables, and we need to be really careful with the pin out here, because the pin out is not quite standard now what we did. So we need to see how that goes. But yeah, that was a fun stream. We finished up what we wanted to finish up, which is the stealth burner. So that's good. Just quickly push those plugs in so we have them saved here. And yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in. Cable's easier, less weight without extruders on it. Yeah, that's true. Like we don't have extruder here, so it's really like we don't even need the full pin out here. Like 4 are already gone from the missing motor. So we also reused deliberately some of those for the BLTouch. But yeah, that's will be fine. Cool. Okay, then thanks everyone for tuning in, and let me switch to my talking head here. So thanks for tuning in, and see you next Saturday then with the next episode. Until then, have a nice week.